Hello there and welcome back to Let's Play The Legend of Heroes, Trails of Cold Steel. I'm the RNGenius, but you may call me Eric, and in the last episode we accepted a new task. We accepted to resolve the issue that went on at the Grand Market. Two people's merchant stalls were smashed to bits, and their goods were stolen. And the provincial army didn't resolve the issue in the way that they found the perpetrator. Instead, they threatened to put the two merchants that owned the stalls into prison if they didn't stop their whining about how that all went down. And that wasn't a fair way of handling it. The market opened up late, and all the other merchants were affected as well. And now we ourselves decided, hey, let us find the perpetrator behind all this. And I will find the perpetrator behind all this. My first guess would be people of the provincial army. What is it? We happen to be rather busy, so unless you need something, I suggest you get lost. This happens to be our guardhouse. Go away the third time as well. You have no business in there yet. My drink's all gone. Someone, anyone, give me some Mira. This poor old drunk needs some Mira. Someone, anyone, give me Mira. If you don't, then I'm gonna cry. I don't want you to cry, but I'm not gonna give you Mira. I'm not supporting your bad habits. This weird old guy's been hanging about outside of the house for a while now. He reeks a drink too. I tried asking Mommy why he's there, but she'll never tell me. What's the old guy doing outside here? Mommy just keeps telling me that to stay away from it, and that's that. The provincial army directly serves the province's ruling lord, so it's out of the question for them to take our side. On the contrary, they start yelling at us for getting even closer to for even getting close to them. Things like that make me worry for my child. I hope he doesn't do anything to anger them. Tran is still at the age where his curiosity will always get the better of him. I'm always worried he might anger someone from the provincial army somehow. I'll do that. I'll be doing that. Oh, your husband is all out already. The Lyman, if I recall correctly. Can I go to this direction? We should focus on getting more info before going anywhere else. Yeah, let's get back to asking around. Fine. Let's go on to the market then. Going for a drink at the inn once we close up shop is a custom here, you see. So I didn't see the culprit, and I couldn't tell you if anyone else did either. I have to admit that I feel for those two, even if their bickering did mean the market opened late. As a fellow merchant, I have to admit that I feel for those two. Lizzie? Excuse me, would you happen to be Lizzie? That's correct. Does that make you the students from Thors, who the market manager said would be coming then? Yep, that's us. We came to see you about the request you sent in. Could you explain the situation to us in full? Of course. I happened to come across someone's wallet by the store yesterday, you see. I kept it with me in the hopes that they would come to pick it up, but no one's come to claim it. As such, I'd like to ask I'd like to ask you all for your help in delivering it back to its owner. Would you happen to be able to do that for me? Sure. Yeah, we'd be happy to help. Thank you. Here's the wallet that I found then. Received lost wallet. We'll be sure to take good care of it. I assume that you've already inspected the contents? I did indeed. Unfortunately, there wasn't anything inside that could help us identify the owner. What exactly was inside it, anyway? Well, naturally there was Mira in it. I couldn't believe just how much was in there, though. The only thing was a train ticket to Heimdallr that's scheduled for tonight. It sounds like the owner is a fairly well-off traveler, then. There's not much we can do with that as our only lead, though. I believe the train ticket is potentially our best lead. Yeah, but what should we do with it? Should we go and ask at the station? Yeah, considering it's time for a train at least tonight, I imagine the owner is frantically searching for it. Which means they might have already been to the station themselves to ask about it. Let's head over to the station then. Sorry for the trouble, but I'm counting on you for this. Quest lost wallet started. After entering the station, they asked about whether or not there had been any inquiries in regards to the lost property. Yes, there was an inquiry. The wallet seems to match the description we received too. Can I ask when the inquiry was made? I believe it was this morning. A young lady came along in a panic, claiming that she was at a complete loss without her wallet and its contents. From what I could tell, she seems to have been traveling alone too. I get why she would be in a panic then. Did she say anything else that could lead us up to her? She mentioned something about returning to the inn to do a thorough check, if I recall correctly. It's the weather cook, right down the street. You can't miss it. How convenient. We happen to be staying there ourselves. Okay, let's go ask Margit. Today my pronunciations of many words are kind of off. Like when there's a word like ask, I sometimes don't voice the K at all, which is a bummer, but I can't help it right now. Hey there, is something the matter? Do you have a moment? There's something we'd like to ask you. Rean explained the situation to Margit and asked if anyone had come along looking for a wallet. Oh, you're looking for Annabelle. Bad timing though, she just left. That's unfortunate. But we have a name now at least. That makes life a lot easier. True, all that's left now is to actually meet with her. She mentioned that she'd be searching at the rest area on the Grand Market next, so you'll want to head there. Make sure you return to her, okay? We will, let's go. Return it to her. Not just return. Please give her the wallet is what I was trying to say. Let's do that right now. You're not Annabelle. Excuse me, you wouldn't happen to know if a young lady came in here searching for her wallet, would you? She was indeed here a few moments ago, but she's gone now. Do you know where she went then? Unfortunately not. She did mention something about having no choice but to rely on ideos now, though. Does that help you out at all? I think there's only one place that could be. Shall we make our way to the church? That seems like our best bet for now. There don't seem to be many customers at the market today. Perhaps it was to be expected after everything that's happened over these past few days. Still, it doesn't pay to give up. No matter how hopeless things might seem, bright lights shine in dark times. I don't intend to let anything stop me from finishing my business here. There's been complaints about how easy some of the riddles in this game are, or how the game places what you need to do directly in front of you without you having to work for it sometimes, or how the game voices things multiple times even if the thing was clear already. But while I do know why people are complaining about that sort of thing, like this, they wouldn't have needed to tell me, oh, go to the church. I mean, they put not only did they put a marker in here, they also gave me a hint about where she would be going, and I mean, I could have figured this out on my own. But at the same time, I understand why they're doing this. The people over at Falcom are having troubles publishing their games over for example, in the United States, and having them be translated. And from that standpoint, I understand why they're trying to make these games available to a broader audience. And if that's the drawback, or that's something I have to take. But also in the end, shut up. Also in the end, I get to play. Let's say, wait. No, what's the Japanese title of this? Trails in the Sky is... Oh, come on.
Right.
Sora no Kiski? Jesus, why is that? Why is my brain doing this to me? Yeah, for example, of an Ao no Kiski would be translated into the German language. It would be into the English language would be a great thing, and I would appreciate. Like I wouldn't be so bummed about how things are spelled out for you if that makes like at least 100 additional people buy the game and support the developers by doing that way. I hope I got that point across. I wanted to say something there, but it just turned out bad. I should just shut my mouth, honestly. I can't think that well right now. Oh, Idios, please have mercy on my poor soul. I simply cannot believe this. How am I supposed to live on, having lost all my Mira in a place like this? Looks like we found her. This tragic heroine act made it kind of obvious. Unfortunately, we will have to interrupt her. Excuse me. Ah! Just who are all of you? Well, you can't turn right around. If you're planning to rob me, I no longer have any... Please, calm down. We just want to ask you something. Are we correct in assuming that you are Annabelle? I am. Heh, thought so. You wouldn't happen to recognize this wallet, would you? They showed Annabelle the wallet. That's my wallet! Where'd you find it? Well, you see... They returned the lost wallet to Annabelle and explained the situation to her. Thank you so much! I'm surprised to hear that the merchant from the Grand Market kept it safe for me, however. Kindness remains within the people's hearts after all, it would seem. Looks that way, yeah. Regardless, I'm very grateful that you found it for me. Is there any particular amount that you'd like in return? You can take half of what's currently in here if you'd like. I don't think we can accept that. Your thanks alone are enough. I see. Well, how about this then? I purchased it as a souvenir at the Grand Market before the Great Wallet Search began. Picard plush. I see no reason you can't accept that. In fact, I insist. I hope you find it useful. Thank you. We gratefully accept then. You're very welcome. Thank you again for finding my wallet. So you managed to find the owner after all, thank goodness. I really can't thank you enough. I'm glad that we could be of help. Please excuse us then. Last wallet completed. Picard plush, that's a new one. HP plus 100, arts defense and defense plus 5. A plush of strange yet plush of a strange yet lovable creature smells oddly sweet. Actually not new, I think it's the hamster that one guy was selling, the hamster. I'm so glad you managed to find that wallet's owner. Thank you, really. The Grand Market managed to get started fine enough, thanks to you lot. We really do owe you all one. There isn't nearly as many customers as usual, but well, no worries. There's plenty we can do to fix things now that the market's actually open. Leave everything here to us. Seems like you've got a lot of your own things to worry about, so just focus on that. It saddens me to say that the provincial army has been acting like that for quite a while now. Part of me believes that they actually enjoy causing trouble for us merchants. What a pain in the ass. That bothers me even more than the tax increase, if I'm perfectly honest. It saddens me to say that the provincial army has been acting for a while now. Wait. This bothers me even more than the tax increase. Okay. I can't believe someone would actually go out of their way to destroy one of the stalls here. Nothing much was done about it either. I don't think any of us would appreciate the attitude with which that was handled. If this was back where I come from, bracers of the army would have come and sorted it out. I just can't believe somebody would do something like this. Hopefully they get caught soon enough. I will also buy these because I was told they're good for an achievement and I might as well. Looking at all these cute plush dolls makes you realize just how pointless it is to fight with others, doesn't it? Feel free to buy one if you're looking for a good way to relax after all that's happened here today. Looking at all these cute plush. Brr, brr, brr. Do I have any clue as to who the culprit is, you ask? Oh, how sly of you. You wish to imply that even a heartless criminal would stop in their tracks after hearing my music, yes? I don't recall their face, unfortunately. Simply because, to me, they were nothing but another member of my massive audience. I think it's safe to assume he doesn't know anything. Should I have witnessed such a person, I never would have remembered them. But no matter, I will continue to play my music regardless of the circumstances. Sir, your audience is numbered. Oh my, that stall over there has been brutalized quite badly. You're asking if I've seen the culprit? Who knows? I try not to pay attention to things that aren't bees or honey. And I'm fairly confident this wasn't perpetrated by bees at the very least. That's all I happen to know. You are all about your honey and your bees. Boy. Welcome, welcome. Feast your eyes on my wares and buy up. I have to admit, those tax increases are definitely taking their toll. I have to raise prices to make up for what I spend, which ends up costing me my sales. I don't have the time to be taking other people's situations into consideration here when I gotta make a profit myself. Right? I don't care who you are. Come and buy something. Anything. No. No. There aren't very many customers here, are there? Not every year is going to be good, but it would be nice if we could end the spring market without bitter memories of it. There aren't many customers here, are there? Oh. Oh, thank Idios, my silk wasn't snatched up by some sly scoundrel. Time to make father relinquish his wallet to me once again. Oh yes, how much was that again? 300,000? Perhaps 400,000? No matter, I'll pay as much as is required, even if that means selling our mansion to afford it. Oh, your mansion. Thank Idios, my silk wasn't snatched by some sly scoundrel. I will put that treasure into my box. What say we take a stroll down the highway, Clarice? I hear that Celtic has many beautiful sights to offer at this time of the... Clarice, please don't ignore my desperate pleas. What say we take a stroll? I hear that. Oh, please don't ignore me. Oh boy, now they've both lost the will to do anything. Kinda pathetic if you ask me. Being a merchant's all about learning through your failures. I'd start borrowing Mira off people to buy stuff, then sell all that to make a profit. That's how you gotta think as a merchant. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying everyone should do the same as me. But if you've got the time to sit around and moan, and then how about you use that time to do something useful? Alright, Heinz. And to think I was ecstatic to finally participate in the famous Celtic Ren Market. What did I ever do to deserve this? Excuse me? You. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you had to see me acting like that. I hope you can forgive me for my inappropriate behavior. He seems really down. It's quite understandable. He is a merchant in a busy market, unable to do business. So, what brings you here? Did you need something from me? Well, actually... Rean explained that he and his classmates were investigating the truth behind what happened the previous night. You're investigating? That's right, and we'd really appreciate it if you could answer a few questions for us. You may be able to help us find the true culprit. I suppose it can't hurt. It's better than doing nothing, at least. You don't have to sound so pessimistic. Well, can you blame me? You're students at a military academy. You're not exactly ace detectives. That is true, but we're still determined to find out who did this. We may even be able to recover your goods. Cooperating with us could prove quite fruitful. Okay, fine. I never said I wouldn't help you, did I? I'm not sure what I'm supposed to say, though. It's not like I saw anything worth mentioning. You didn't? As soon as I made sure my stall was ready to open the next morning, I left everything set up and went home. The other merchants around here can't vouch for that. Guess I shouldn't have left the stall unattended, though. By the time I got in, it was too late. The deed had been done. So, by morning, the stall had already been destroyed and your goods were stolen. Come to think of it, what goods were stolen exactly? Oh, I have a sample with me, actually. An accessory? Is this a brand that's popular in the capital? Been a real hit lately, yeah. I was hoping to bring the fat here by selling them at the market. But this is the only one I have left now. I dread to think just how much money I lost in one single night. That damn coward sabotaging my business. It's much too early to be jumping to conclusions. Do you have any evidence that proves his culpability? No, but he's clearly the prime suspect. He was so against the idea of taking turns sharing this spot with me, he decided he'd destroy my stall altogether. I just know it. I'm going to get him to give me my goods back, no matter what it takes. Please, try to stay calm. You don't know that you don't know that if you cause any more trouble, the provincial army really will arrest you, right? You do know that. Yeah, I know, but it is a matter of justice. I can't just act like nothing ever happened. It is wrong on general principle. I'm begging you, please, get my goods back, whatever it takes. Well, I can't promise success, but I swear to you, we will do everything we can. That much I can promise. I think that's everything this merchant knows. Let's try questioning the other one. I've lost my stall, I've lost my goods. What did I ever do to deserve this? I can't turn tail and run away. It's all up to you now. Please do what you can to get my stuff back. And try to make sure whoever did this pays for it too. What the hell am I supposed to do now? Excuse me, I'm sorry to bother you, but could you have a moment of your time? Could we have a moment of your time? You're the kids from that military academy, right? What do you want from me? I've got nothing to sell you, obviously. Even if I did have something to sell, I have got no place to sell it. I'm basically ruined. And to top it all off, the provincial army and that other damn merchant are acting like I'm the one who did it all. He's not taking this very well, is he? Hard to blame him, but we need to see if he knows anything that might help us. Well, you see, Rean explained that he and his classmates were investigating the truth behind what happened the previous night. You're investigating this mess, huh? Huh, okay. So would you consider cooperating with us? Sure, why not? Not getting my hopes up, as I'm sure you can understand, but hell, I've got nothing left to lose. Not exactly a vote of confidence. Hey, he's willing to cooperate. I say we cut him some slack and hear him out. So, about last night. At the time the incident actually happened. Last night, huh? I don't know much. I don't know how much help I can be, if that's what you're asking about here. See, I left the market right after arguing with that merchant yesterday, and I didn't come back till this morning. I stayed over at a friend's place, another merchant. Just got pissed drunk and ranted at him all night. Huh, are you certain of this? Positive. Ask my friend if you don't believe me. He'll back me up. I wandered over here with an awful hangover this morning, and what I found gave me a hell of a start. my whole stall in shambles. And if that weren't bad enough, all the processed foods I was going to sell were just gone, without a trace. So the goods that were stolen here were all processed foods. That's right, nuts, cheese, bacon, all foods that have long shelf life, made with local ingredients. Seeing all my stuff gone really sobered me up. It was like I hadn't been drinking at all. And that's when I went over to that fool's stall to make him pay for it. Why did you go straight to him? Because he was the one who did it, of course. He smashed my stall so he could have that spot all to himself. But that doesn't make any sense. If Heinz did it, then why was his stall destroyed too? He must have done that to himself. Probably figured if he destroyed his own stall, no one else would believe he would be responsible. I don't know, that seems pretty unlikely. It's a bit excessive. While I understand your frustration, baseless accusations do not hold any favors, or do no one any favors, and only cloud the true issue. But it's so frustrating. I've lost so much money because of this, I might have to shut up my shop for good. That is bad. If I could at least get my goods back, maybe I could salvage enough to stay afloat. But what are the odds of that? None of the other merchants saw anybody do anything, and the provincial army sure ain't about to help. I'm finished, pure and simple. All the hard work I've put into getting this far, and this is how the dream ends for me. Well, I'll be honest, I'm not sure how much we'll actually be able to do for you, but we'll do everything in our power to help you find some form of closure. So cheer up, okay? I do appreciate that, but again, I ain't about to get my hopes up. Good luck, though. That's all the two victims of the crime have to say, it seems. What does everybody think? I can't be sure, but I really don't think either of them is responsible. Both merchants certainly have adequate motive to damage the other's stall, but the chance of both committing the same crime on the same night without crossing paths is virtually nil. It's not impossible that they were just out to steal each other's merchandise, but I don't believe that's what happened. Both of them have alibis confirming that they were both somewhere else when the crime took place. I'm inclined to agree. I just can't see either of these merchants being responsible for what happened. So we're going to have to look elsewhere to find viable suspects. Where though? I mean, who could it possibly have been? It's impossible to say right now. We don't have any solid leads. We know who the culprit wasn't, but how are we supposed to start narrowing down who it was? The market itself seems unlikely to produce any further clues, so we should focus our attention elsewhere. Actually, there is one thing that's been bugging me. There's one group of people involved in this whole situation whose actions don't seem to make any sense. Maybe if we can work out the reasoning behind their strange behavior, we can come one step closer to finding our culprit. Whom do you mean? I'm talking about the provincial army. They haven't done a thing to try and solve this crime, despite it happening right under their noses. And that begs the question, why not? The market manager said they're refusing to fulfill their role due to the tax issue, which means the provincial army should refuse to intervene in quarrels within the market as well. If that's the case, then why did they come and intervene this morning? Now that you mention it, that really doesn't make any sense. Their methods are atrocious, but the fact is they brought that dispute to an end almost instantly. They did get involved. Yeah, one minute they're refusing to do anything, then the next they're taking a stand. It's definitely suspicious. My point exactly. There's definitely something unnatural about the way they're conducting themselves. And since we've got no other leads, what do you say we go to the army's guardhouse and take a look around? We might be able to learn something from them that could aid us in our investigation. That may be worth an attempt. The guardhouse isn't too far away from here either. Let's head on over and see what we can find out. AP increased by 1. Ooh, Eric is smart. Alright. But for the moment, I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I'll see you in the next episode as well. Thank you very much for watching. I will fall asleep right now, and I'll see you in the next one as well. Until then, toodles!